Still not subscribed to the partition? You know, it's a lot of ways that you can do this besides watching all the content. But before we start, always remember, go to the channels link. Every show that we have, you can always see every show before everybody else see the show. But besides that, always remember, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, put it on all. Until then, always remember, anything is possible. Thank you for choosing the partition. Now let's get into the show. Anything is possible. Peace. She worked at the club I used to work in. Some people could clock in. And you know, money is money. See that? Man, that was easy, man. My fans know who I am. My son got me this with my dad, so I can always have him with me whenever I do the show. Hold on, wait. I want to laugh. Welcome back to Chopping It Up with Lil Ron. Today in the studio, I have another guest. This guest is an artist, entertainer. The list goes on and on. I want you guys to welcome the one and only Miss Eisani. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
I got it right on the first time.
Rounds of applause. Yes. I'm proud of you.
I got a quick question to ask you. Because I don't ask people this question. But you from New York?
I'm from Jersey.
Okay, that's close by.
Yes.
I can tell by the accent. Because I'm like, you know, I said, man, she sounds like she could be from out there from New York and stuff. Now, what I do is normally when people come on the show, I always let them give a quick little tutorial to my fans because apparently your fans know you and mine going to get to know you and they going to support you as that.
Absolutely.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself and we're going to go from there.
Okay, so I am a recording artist. I'm an artist. My music is hip-hop. I'm hardcore into the hip-hop culture. So the hip-hop culture, I'm talking about MCing, DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, like hip-hop culture. I have my music, the way that I would describe it is very East Coast.
Okay.
That I've come to find out throughout my travels. And I think I would describe it more so as vintage East Coast because most people will say, like, you will remind me of, like, a Lauryn Hill or somebody like that. My messages in my music, I have a lot of, like, Pan-African themes, a lot of things about, you know, just Black people in society.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, people say that too. Yeah. A lot of things that affect Black women and just my journey in general. Very lyrical. Yeah, so I think that's how most people would describe me. It's very East Coast, very hip-hop, maybe even say boom bap.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you know, I didn't want to say it when I first saw you, I got the vibe of salt and pepper. Because when I looked, I said, you know, she got that salt and pepper, Queen Latifah, man, that positive, strong attitude. Yeah. And I looked at the clothes you're wearing. and it reminded me like the Crush Groove. I mean, some people forget about that stuff.
Beach Street.
Yes,
all of that.
I remember all that stuff. That stuff, it reminds me of that. So what actually made you, this would be a good question, what actually made you fall in love with hip hop?
So my mother and my father are both firstborns. Okay. And so they had me when they were in college in the 80s. And all of their siblings were still in, like, middle school, high school, even some was in elementary school. So when I was growing up in the 90s, like, all my aunts and uncles were into hip-hop. So, like, it's what I remember. Like as far as the soundtrack of my life is what I remember. So I remember all the artists' albums, the artwork, the magazines, and everything. I didn't myself start rapping until probably around middle school. I started doing music, like as far as playing instruments. And then I started actually writing poetry, but I didn't, you know, put them together into like rapping really until high school. So once I got into high school, you know, me and my brothers, we kind of had like a little rap crew. And that's kind of how I got into it. Like, we weren't serious. We weren't recording or making records or nothing. We was just kind of like a little rap
playing
crew.
around.
Yeah, like they would battle and stuff. I don't have the temperament for battle rap, but they would battle. But we were all right. So we would just get beats like, because there were record stores, and then you could get like the B-sides, the singles, and it would just have a beat. Yeah, so we would get just the beat and just write to it and rap over it.
You know, so I remember
that's how it started.
I remember when we used to do pretty much the same thing. You know, a lot of people don't know a majority of that hip hop came out of New York. A lot of stuff it came from over there, and it spread it throughout the United States.
Yep.
You guys have a lot of good talent that comes from there. I know all my top people down south. We all love Tupac, because I know I'm a Tupac fan, but a lot of people don't know. Tupac came from New York. They don't understand. He actually came from New York. Yeah, he originally was from New York. And on top of that, you got Big.
Yep.
You actually have a lot of people don't know this, but you gonna know what I'm finna get ready to say. People forget about Big L.
Oh,
that man.
They
was
just
good.
named the street after him.
Wow, they just
just this past weekend, or this past Friday, I think it was. Yeah, they named it after him. I forgot what street it was. I want to say 140th. I'm not sure, but they did name the street after him.
Yeah, so, I think if he would have never passed, I think he would have been as big or probably better than Jay-Z. Not saying Jay-Z wasn't a good Big L was. It was crazy because
there's a lot of people that I feel like if they had survived, like, I mean, Big L is definitely one. Of course, Big, but even Big Pun, like Big Pun was a lyricist.
Yes.
A lyricist that people don't even know.
You know, people, they don't. What I tell them is, I think Tupac and Big's, their life was a sacrifice. Think about it. If Tupac and Big were still alive, half of the people that's here now wouldn't even exist, because all we cared about. Let's see what Big gonna say back. Let's see what Pac gonna say back, and vice versa, back and forward. A lot of stuff wouldn't be like it is right now. So God took it upon Himself to remove those two, and they're no longer here. But it paved the way for everybody that we have now. Yeah. Not saying that a lot of the rappers that people dislike and what they do. I think hip hop has changed. It's not the way it used to be. It's a whole different genre of music now. It's not the same. It feel like everybody now wants to turn back. I think the last real rap I say that they probably had at the end of that part probably gonna be J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. You probably gonna actually
as far
hear
as mainstream, definitely. But what I always tell people is it's all in what you support, because one of my big themes whenever I'm having like these type of conversations in music is like, you know, what we see now manifesting like in the public, in the mainstream, that's the corporatization of hip hop culture into rap music. Like this is what the corporations and the labels want. So they're not gonna get artists, you know, like the ones that we just mentioned that are thought-provoking, that are, you know, really socially involved to that level, because they don't like that. It doesn't make them money. And they're looking at making money. But if you go, sad to say it, but off-grid from the music industry, the mainstream music industry, there's like a ton of talent still out there that's still lyrical, still intelligent, still furthering the culture, still, you know, about the grassroots. And they don't even have to be just from New York or just East Coast. Like there's guys in Philly doing it. There's people from Atlanta. There's people here in Houston. Like
I see them all.
Chicago is a good place.
Yeah. A lot of I see them a lot, but a lot of times they don't understand how easy they have. Back, I'm 41, so back in my days when we listen to music, it was harder. They got it made. Social media is right there. You basically can do your own stuff, your own promotion. Pay for your own advertisement, and you can blow up overnight on the social media platforms. Now, do they take that route? No, they don't take that route. They feel like the new rappers now, majority of them feel like every music video, they got to have a gun. They got to have money to their ear. They got to have drugs. They got to have women. They take away. They don't keep that classic hip-hop like it was actually built. Like the people that came before and paved the way for these guys to do that now. They don't understand. These people had to sacrifice a lot of stuff just for you to get this. I mean, a lot of people, regardless of what people say about Will Smith, they probably wanted the first to get a Grammy.
Yeah, I think they were,
they wanted the first one. Jazzy Jeff, they basically was one of the first ones to actually do that. I mean, being in the industry that you are, and then you also do a lot of entertainment. Mm-hmm. What type of entertainment stuff do you actually do besides the music?
So right now it's primarily the music. I used to be a professional model. I retired from modeling a few years ago. I have been an actress. I don't pursue acting though. More so because I was only an actress by necessity, because I graduated from Rutgers in Jersey for filmmaking. So a lot of times when you're a filmmaker, you kind of have to do both to get the project done and out. Yes. So I did some acting. I've done some modeling. And of course I've been a filmmaker. But right now it's primarily just the music.
You know, I have a friend that actually pretty much like sparked majority of all of the sets that you actually see. Mm-hmm. He's from New York. I don't know what part. His name is Shazelle Bush. Mm-hmm. He was a film director and stuff out there. He did stuff with young Emcee. Mm-hmm. And he had a whole bunch of other lists of people telling me about Nori. He did something with Nori. He told me so many stories about stuff that he actually do. My main thing is with your music and what you do you ever run into people basically saying, I don't want to listen to you. You're trying to be like Nicki Minaj or you're trying to be like Lil' Kim or Foxy Brown. Do you ever have that problem?
I've never had that problem.
You know, some people, they do that.
I've never had that problem. I think for me it's more so the subject matter. Where I definitely don't get those comparisons, although I love Nicki and I love Kim. But I think because of the lane that I'm in, because I'm a solid believer in just being in your lane. And where they're at is not my lane. Just like where like Young Emcee, other people at, that's just not my lane. Mm-hmm. So I have not had that, you know, as far as a comparison. When people usually give me like a comparison to me, it's more of an inspirational of, yo, we just really haven't seen this in a minute, and it's crazy that you're doing it. Not crazy in a bad way, but just crazy is like in an unexpected way. Like, we didn't even know people were still rapping like this, or is it more of you, or you the only one? You know, is it the last of the dying breed? I usually get a lot of that. But I mean, when people usually give me a comparison, it's a good thing.
Well, you know, I always say, I tell a lot of my people that in my circle, sometimes people fear things they don't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know. When people actually see me sometimes and see the things that I do, it's like a shocker to them because they wouldn't expect a little bitty guy like me to be doing what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, man, I just had a dream last night. I woke up the next morning and I said, I want to do it like this. And they be like, what? I'm like, yeah, man, it's easy. Just you follow your dreams. I told them in the beginning going into this, I didn't care if nobody wanted to support me. As long as my children and my friends and my circle cared, that's all that matters to me. But it actually ended up blowing up like really, really big. Now, did you, throughout this whole course, have you ever had times where you felt depressed? Because I know things can drain people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything in entertainment or anything, I'm not even going to say entertainment, I'm going to say art. When you're pursuing art as a career, like, you definitely have those moments because it's not easy to come by. Like, the success is not easy to come by. And so you're going to have the setbacks. You're going to have the challenges. You're going to have those times where you just got in a messed up contract and you're trying to get out of it, or just a crazy situation and it's just chaotic. I've had a lot of those times, and I'm actually shocked that I've been able to bounce back from so much, because I've had a lot of setbacks, just regular life setbacks, just life happening. And stuff happening within the industry, from, you know, something being wrong with a contract, falling out with some people, you know, that I did some work with, some music with, to just heavy delays, to being, I had one point in time I was dropped from my management. That was actually the second time I got dropped from that same manager. Like, wow. So that was crazy. Like, she dropped me, then we kind of like reconnected. She started managing me again, and right at the beginning of COVID, she dropped me again. Because she's like, oh, this music isn't making money and you're behind schedule and you're over budget. She dropped me again. Just from just fallouts with people. Like, there's been a lot. And, I mean, it's mentally taxing. Like, you have to be strong mentally to keep going in this industry, because regardless of whether you get superstar mainstream, like on Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj level, or you just doing independent, who's a good independent? Like, I guess Zero is a good independent.
He's real good. He's a real good artist.
Or even if you're just underground and you're just doing this for you, like, there's those periods where it's just hard, and you have to be mentally strong. You have to know how to get yourself out of those ruts, or or you have to surround yourself with people who can really help you and support you, because it's important. Because I think that's why a lot of artists end up having drug addictions and alcohol addictions and sex addictions and whatever other kind of addictions is out there, because they're looking for something to like numb that. And it's like, art is supposed to be your release, but what if your release isn't really working for you like that, and you just need that extra layer of support?
That's right.
And so you got to be on top of your mental health, and you got to surround yourself with good people, with good spirits that really care about you, and, you know, not what you can do or what you can do for them, or,
you
know, how popular you look on social media or whatever, or how pretty you are and all this other stuff that's superficial.
People always think that they should surround themselves with a person that's a yes man or a no woman. You don't supposed to do that all the time. You got to have somebody.
That's a recipe for a disaster.
Yes.
Because they're just going to tell you what you want to hear.
They
no matter how wrong it is.
And I tell them all the time, like, if something I do is wrong, please tell me and let me know.
Because you don't care about me. If you're gonna let me go in the wrong direction, knowing it's wrong, and you're not gonna say nothing, you don't care about me. You either here for the gravy train, you trying to ride the coattails, or you just hanging around long enough to see me fail. Because you know you have those spectators that's just watching so that they can see you fail, just so they can have that satisfaction that you didn't make it. So
I know when I first came into the business and what I do now, a lot of people told me some things that I could not do. I just put 2 and 2 together, and I just said, you know, I don't care what nobody say. I'm going to do this. I know this is going to work. I'm going to build my team with who I'm going to build it with, and we're going to go from there. It was actually worth it. I already knew exactly what it was actually going to actually do. So now, this is the segment that we come to, what we call Leon's Top 5. Now, what Leon's Top 5 is, I had a cousin of mine. He actually got killed by 18-wheeler.
Oh,
he was a big fan of my show, so I always dedicate this segment to him. So, since you're from New York, New Jersey, the question I want to ask is this. What would be your top 5? It can be rap, R&B, gospel. It can be jazz,
just
blues.
all around artists?
All around artists.
This is about to be crazy, because I always get asked top 5 rappers or top 5 female MCs. I don't never get asked like cross genres.
Oh, no. All around.
I don't even know if I could like put them in order. So Stevie Wonder.
Isn't she lovely?
Stevie Wonder's definitely gonna be one of them. Cross genre. Who do I love? Wow. I'm gonna have to put Nas in there, because
I was going to ask you about. Man, I heard that song that Nas had a few months ago about the run-in with him and Tupac. He got a song.
Yeah. I've heard it. I know what she's talking about.
That song. And to be honest, a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people always talk about Tupac and Nas. And I heard stories over the years about Tupac and Nas running.
Same. Yeah.
And it's not that many songs that Tupac actually shot at Nas. It's not that many. He did a lot towards Biggie and Jay-Z all the time. But he didn't do that to Nas. He didn't do that many because they actually squashed that. If that incident, when it happened in Vegas, originally when he came back, he was going to remove that. Suge Knight was supposed to remove that, they say, but he did not. He kept it on there. If he would have removed it off the track, I guess they would have to scrap the track because he wouldn't have had enough in there. And when I heard that song, I always had respect for Nas regardless, but I got extra layer of respect for him when I heard that song and he told that story exactly how it was and how you can have 2 kings. Basically, he got his entourage is ready to die for him, and this man got his entourage ready to die. And anything could have actually happened that night, at any moment, any blink of an eye, and for them to actually control that, I think that's like probably one of the best like squashing hip hops that I, you know, you got your Kool Moe D's and the rest of them, but that was like probably like wonderful, man. So Nas I agree with you on that Nas, man. That's Stevie Wonder.
Nas is a poet, and like the way his mind works, like people don't even catch
some
the lyricism because it's so sophisticated, just the schemes and everything. So Nas is definitely up there. That's actually the rapper that was the catalyst in me becoming an MC.
Wow.
Was Nas. Like, that's the one where I was like, listen to and was like, yo, I got to do this. I need to be doing this too. It was Nas. So I said Stevie Wonder, Nas, got to do Bob Marley, got to do Lauryn Hill, and got to do Fela Kuti.
Okay. 5. How can they find you on social media?
So the best way to find me is through my Instagram. In my bio, I have a link tree. It has every possible place you can find me online. So my Instagram is Eisani Renee. That's EISANIRENEE. And when you go to my bio, you click on the link tree. It's going to have my website, my EPK, my YouTube, my Vimeo, like all my official music videos, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Triller. It's going to have all that. Email. It's also going to have my Spotify for Artists page, my Tidal for Artists page, and my Apple Music for Artists page.
Okay.
So they're going to find everything. All I need them to do is just go to that link tree and just go down the tabs.
And your YouTube is on there too, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Don't be inboxing the lady or sending her a message asking, can you go out on a date with her? You know, some people will do that, man. They'll turn back around.
It happens.
You want to be business? I want to see if I can see you, meet up with you. Then you meet them. Then they went from, hey, look, let's just go sit down and have dinner. No, I'm trying to handle business.
Yeah, that happens.
I enjoyed you, and I promise you I will be bringing you back in the future. And I need you guys to support this lady. Just like you support me, support her and all her success. Now, always remember, until next time, thank you guys for choosing Chopping It Up with Lil Ron. Remember, anything is possible. Until next time, we out. Peace.